Hello, welcome to my top 10 anime comedies of all time. A few things to say before I begin. This is going to be a total disaster because I am ill prepared, because I don't prepare for things. I'm going to ramble, I'm going to go off topic a lot, and my list is always subject to change. I thought comedies would be the easiest list for me to do first because I don't watch a ton of comedies for the most part. So well, until I decided to try to do this list. And I realized it was incredibly difficult. The top 4 or 5 might be accurate. After that, I have no idea if my list is right. It's probably terrible. So, uh, yeah. You can scramble these up however you want. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, let's jump into my top 10 comedies of all time. Starting at number 10, we have Kaguya-sama, Season 2 in particular, but overall, I'm going to say all of Kaguya-sama. I mean, what to say about this one? It's a pretty cheesy but absolutely hilarious rom com. Um, yeah. Actually, wait, before I begin, I forgot to mention, I am not comparing the series to themselves, I'm comparing the comedy within the series to each other, if that makes any sense. Because you will see, I'll explain later on, that my number 2 series is a better series than my number 1, but number 1 is funnier. Therefore, it's higher rated on this series on this list. That's how I'm rating. So, anyways, it's a pretty cheesy rom com. It's just two people refusing to admit they're in love with the other. That's all it is. That's the entire premise of the series, and it's so dumb, but it's so amazing at the same time. I love the hell out of it for that. And of course, the best character in the entire series is Chica the Destroyer. That's what I dub her because she ruins everything that the other two try to plan. And it just leads to such amazing things. And all the other characters involved are great. Yeah, Kaguya-sama, very funny series. Moving on to my number 9 on the list. That would be El Hazard, The Magnificent World. Before I get into this one, a little sidetrack here. Normally, I prefer to watch subs over everything else, and it's not due to being a purist, just what I prefer. This is one series where I must recommend the dub. As you can tell, it is old. It's from what year is it? 95. Pretty old series. The dub is a masterpiece. Um, it's an old school isekai. I'm sure everyone gets excited about isekai series. So yeah, couple kids, couple teachers get sucked in from a school somewhere to a new world. Great, right? One teacher goes to the bug side, to the bad guy side, and becomes like the ruler of the bugs. And the other guy, everyone else, goes to the good guy side. The main character shows up, and the kingdom he's in, he's like, "Oh, you look just like the princess. You need to cross dress, or you need to will you be our princess for us?" While we try to figure out what happened to her, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." So he cross dresses as the princess, having no idea what royalty does. One of the teachers with him, he his power is super strength. He is superhumanly strong, but only when he's sober. And he is a drunk. You cannot keep the bottle out of his hand. So there, that sets up the story. And I do not know how well the comedy aged in this, being so old, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, but it was really damn funny when I watched it a very long time ago, and I'm sure it still holds up today. So you never know. Moving on to my number 8 series, we have Fooly Cooly, the OG Fooly Cooly. I feel like this is a very polarizing series. Either you love it and think it's a masterpiece, or you think it's absolute garbage. There's very little in between. I tend to lean towards the side of this being a masterpiece. It's it's a series where you check your brain at the door. You don't try to understand it. You don't try to figure out what's going to happen or what's going on. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the absolute insanity that unfolds. Uh, yeah, there's friggin' robots. There's robots coming out of a boy's head, along with other various objects, and a lot of baseball references, and some a very horny cat, and lots of fourth wall breaking. It's got it all. It's I'm sure everyone's seen this anyways, but it's a masterpiece. Just watch it. Uh, yeah. Moving on to my number 8 comedy. Wait, 7 comedy. I can count. Number 7 is Demi-chan Wakatari Tai. Yeah, this was a I don't know. How do I even describe this one? It's a hmm high school series. There we go. That's a good start. Like I said, here we go. This is the struggles have really begun now. High school series about well, let's see what this thing says. Demis, they're like not quite human. Yeah. There's let's see, what are the three girls? We have a what is it, an ice witch or an ice girl? There's the vampire girl. There's the headless girl, the Dullahan, and the teacher, who is the best character of all by a mile, the succubus. The jokes in this are very well done. All right, honestly, I think the jokes in this are top 3, but I don't know if the execution was there, and that's why it's a little lower. It is adorable, but it's I don't know. I felt like it lacked something, and that's kind of why I didn't move it up higher. I'm making no sense right now, but that's okay. Also, before I go any further, after this is done, I'm gonna link some of my favorite clips from each of these, and yeah, you'll understand why the succubus is so freaking amazing. She is, yeah, like she has to intentionally dress down, like you would not believe, because the second any guy like sees her, they'll just practically have a heart attack. And our head teacher guy, he contains himself very well. Let's go with that. Um yeah, and the three main girls are just they're just great. They are freaking hilarious together. The pranks they pull on each other are top notch. Okay. Moving on to number what are we on? 6. Number 6. Yeah. The devil is a part-timer. I was told to watch this several years ago. And it was like, oh, this is a really funny comedy. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll check it out. I started this up, in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, what the hell? This is not a comedy, and I stopped. And I went back and I looked it up. I'm like, did I get the right series? And I looked and I'm like, yeah, it's the right series. What the hell is going on? So I keep watching, and then I was like, oh, that opening sequence. That's a big twist. I thought it was an action series. Yeah, we got the Devil King, Mao, or yeah, Mao. Uh, yeah, brought to the real world along with his right hand man, where there is no magic or very little magic, and he has limited powers, and he gets put in charge, and he works at McDonald's, and he has to decide if he wants to use his magical powers to try to get home, or to fix the broken what the hell's it called? The fry machine, the fryer at McDonald's. And it's things like that. It's like, how is he going to use his powers to be the best damn McDonald's salesman there is? And there's a whole lot of other awesome characters, and it's just freaking perfect. It is. It really is. It's a damn near perfect comedy. But that means there are 5 more that are better than this, so even more perfect. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Moving on, number 5. The series that I dub Antarctic Girls. Sorayori Motokoy Basho. Typically, I do not like cute girls doing cute things. I find them to be very I don't know, I find them to be boring because there's usually not enough story going on. But this is one that is very much an exception. This is full on story. Unbelievable voice acting cast. And it's a bunch of girls, yeah, literally trying to go to Antarctica. There is some incredible drama in this as well, which I really love. But yeah, the scene I'll link to this one is special. Please enjoy it. Um, what do I even say about this one now? Like all the girls, they all have their own issues to deal with going to Antarctica, and it's really a okay. What was the term? What's the term for it? Friggin' growth, where they're growing. What the hell? Whatever. Where they try to understand more about themselves, and I think they all do that. And it's just a beautiful, well executed series. I really, really loved it. Moving on, because this is going perfectly well. I love this. Moving on to number 4, Asobi Asobase. This is the slapstick comedy that I usually despise. This was another series that I had no intention of watching until like at least 2 or 3 people were like, hey, you should check this out. It's really good. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't want to watch this, and I didn't. And then I come back a couple days and I'm like, I'm gonna give it a real shot, and I did, and I'm glad I did. 3 girls doing ridiculous things and during their free time in class, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh god, it's just they have completely over the top things. Like this guy shoots fire out of his ass. That's the butler. Um, 3 girls are playing in a little friggin' kiddie pool in their room, in their classroom, their whatever the hell it is, and water just goes underneath the door. And the teacher or principal walks by and is like, girls, why is there water under the door? And one of them's like, oh, because, who said he peed? Because Olivia peed! She peed her pants! And you see the teacher just think, touch the water. That's it, like, did you lie to me? And they're like, oh my god, he actually tasted it. It is messed up beyond belief, but one of the hardest I've ever laughed is with Asabi Asase. It is, I think it's an acquired taste. It's not for everyone, but it was ended up being right for me. And, moving on to my number 3 series, something I watched very recently is Motokoy. This is the otaku rom-com. It is, what is it? Yeah, it's just that. The jokes are kind of, you kind of got to know your stuff when it comes to the jokes. You got to know a bit about anime and video games and terminology and stuff like that. But if you do, you will love this series. The jokes are I'm gonna say the best jokes of my top 10 are in this series. The characters are perfect. They're just great. They're great freaking characters. The romance between them, between the 2 couples, are hilarious. Like, God, I don't even know how to describe it because it involves talking about the. I'm moving on. We're moving on to number 2. It's freaking amazing. Just watch it. Moving on to my second favorite series of all comedy of all time. Great teacher Onizuka. This is going so well. This series has it all: action, comedy, romance, drama. The comedy speaks for itself. Just know it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to talk about how this series starts out because that is super key. It's about Onizuka. He's an ex-biker gang leader, and he kind of doesn't know what to do with himself. So one night, him and his buddy, who is actually doing something with his life now, get drunk, and they're going home. And Onizuka's like, to his buddy, he's like, you know what I want to do? His buddy's like, what? I'm probably embellishing this a little bit, but you'll get the gist of it. Onizuka goes, you know what? He goes, I want to become a teacher. And his buddy's like, why the hell would you want to do that? And Onizuka goes, because I want to give kids like us, the chance that we never got. I want them to have a chance to make something of themselves. Because he goes, look what we turned into. He goes, I don't want that to happen to everyone else. And that sets up Onizuka becoming, well, the greatest teacher of all time. It has, this series literally has has it all. If you want something, it's in it. Has unbelievable comedy. There's a fair amount of action, and it's really well done. The drama is incredibly heartfelt. Honestly, I think this is actually a better drama than it is a comedy. And this is my number 2 comedy, so that really says something. And the romance, it's sparse, but it's there and it's very well done as well. The only issue with this is it's pretty old. I mean, when it started, 99, so old school animation. It's, yeah, it's got some old school faces, like some crazy freaking faces, primarily out of Onizuka. But, yeah, he's quite the character. He's my favorite male character of all time. Bar none, no one else is even freaking close to how awesome he is. Onizuka, greatest. Honestly, he might be the greatest character of all time. He is that freaking cool. So, also, if you prefer manga, I highly recommend the manga. The manga's even better than the anime. I don't know how. I was shocked when I read it, and I was like, damn, how is that better than the anime? Because I view this is like the holy grail of series to me. This is such a masterpiece. And in the manga, blew out of the water. I'm like, I cannot comprehend how that is even possible. But it did it. It's also a long series, 43 episodes. Yeah. And I wish it was 150 or 100. It'd probably be about 100 series if it was a full adaptation. Maybe one day. It won't, but I would love for this to get a full adaptation. Moving on to my number 1 series. We're finally there. It's the one and only Konosuba. It's just the greatest comedy of all time, and if you haven't seen it, you're really fucking up. And that's my top 10. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.